الله الرحمن الرحيم. سبح لله ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. له ملك السماوات والأرض يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير. هو الأول والآخر والظاهر والباطن وهو بكل شيء عليم. هو الذي خلق السماوات والأرض في 6 أيام ثم استوى على العرش. يعلم ما يلج في الأرض وما يخرج منها وما ينزل من السماء وما يعرج فيها وهو معكم أينما كنتم والله بما تعملون بصير. له ملك السماوات والأرض وإلى الله ترجع الأمور. يولج الليل في النهار ويولج النهار في الليل وهو عليم بذات الصدور. آمنوا بالله ورسوله وأنفقوا مما جعلكم مستخلفين فيه فالذين آمنوا منكم وأنفقوا لهم أجر كبير. وما لكم لا تؤمنون بالله والرسول يدعوكم لتؤمنوا بربكم وقد أخذ ميثاقكم إن كنتم مؤمنين. هو الذي ينزل على عبده آيات بينات ليخرجكم من الظلمات إلى النور وإن الله بكم لرءوف رحيم. وما لكم ألا تنفقوا في سبيل الله ولله ميراث السماوات والأرض. لا يستوي منكم من أنفق من قبل الفتح وقاتل أولئك أعظم درجة من الذين أنفقوا من بعد وقاتلوا وكلا وعد الله الحسنى والله بما تعملون خبير. من ذا الذي يقرض الله قرضا حسنا فيضاعفه له وله أجر كريم. يوم ترى المؤمنين والمؤمنات يسعى نورهم بين أيديهم وبأيمانهم بشراكم اليوم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها ذلك هو الفوز العظيم. يوم يقول المنافقون والمنافقات للذين آمنوا انظرونا نقتبس من نوركم قيل ارجعوا وراءكم فالتمسوا نورا فضرب بينهم بسور له باب باطنه فيه الرحمة وظاهره من قبله العذاب ينادونهم ألم نكن معكم قالوا بلى ولكنكم فتنتم أنفسكم وتربصتم وارتبتم وغرتكم الأماني حتى جاء أمر الله وغركم بالله الغرور فاليوم لا يؤخذ منكم فدية ولا من الذين كفروا مأواكم النار هي مولاكم وبئس المصير ألم يأن للذين آمنوا أن تخشع قلوبهم لذكر الله وما نزل من الحق ولا يكونوا كالذين أوتوا الكتاب من قبل فطال عليهم الأمد فقست قلوبهم وكثير منهم فاسقون اعلموا أن الله يحيي الأرض بعد موتها قد بينا لكم الآيات لعلكم تعقلون إن المصدقين والمصدقات وأقرضوا الله قرضا حسنا يضاعف لهم ولهم أجر كريم والذين آمنوا بالله ورسله أولئك هم الصديقون والشهداء عند ربهم لهم أجرهم ونورهم والذين كفروا وكذبوا بآياتنا أولئك أصحاب الجحيم اعلموا أنما الحياة الدنيا لعب ولهو وزينة وتفاخر بينكم وتكاثر في الأموال والأولاد كمثل غيث أعجب الكفار نباته ثم يهيج فتراه مصفرا ثم يكون حطاما وفي الآخرة عذاب شديد ومغفرة من الله ورضوان وما الحياة الدنيا إلا متاع الغرور سابقوا إلى مغفرة من ربكم وجنة عرضها كعرض السماء والأرض أعدت للذين آمنوا بالله ورسله ذلك فضل الله يؤتيه من يشاء والله ذو الفضل العظيم ما أصاب من مصيبة في الأرض ولا في أنفسكم إلا في كتاب من قبل أن نبرأها إن ذلك على الله يسير لكي لا تأسوا على ما فاتكم ولا تفرحوا بما آتاكم والله لا يحب كل مختال فخور الذين يبخلون ويأمرون الناس بالبخل ومن يتول فإن الله هو الغني الحميد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I hope everyone is doing well, and I hope that, inshallah, all of you are here to, inshallah, benefit and to be able to, there's an echo. Okay, so inshallah we'll continue while we fix the sound issue. Every Thursday night and every Friday is a special opportunity for all of us to do a bit of reflection and to ask ourselves, how are we doing when it comes to our real life, and when it comes to our akhirah, when it comes to what truly success is all about. Every Thursday night is an opportunity for us to ask ourselves, how are we with respect to what we were last week? Maybe some of us got a chance to participate in this live stream last week, and now we're like, okay, 1 week has passed. What's changed? And am I going in the right direction? Or God forbid, am I just plateauing? Or even worse, am I actually going downhill? So this is an opportunity for us to remember and to also appreciate the blessings that Allah has given us, because it's on such a night where we can compensate for our mistakes. We can ask Allah, we can say that I've realized with your blessings, I'm able to realize that I'm not going in the right direction. I need your help. I need to improve. I need to be going in the right direction. I don't know how many more Thursday nights I'm going to be given, so I want to take advantage of whatever I have. It's also a special time when it comes to the events that are taking place in the world right now. All the time there are tragedies and there are injustices taking place in different parts of the world. But a lot of times for people who are living in the West, especially in America and Canada, these are always things that are kind of out there and a little bit distant from us. And we feel them and we are concerned about them. But it's always something which is over there, out there. But now, in the recent time, we've seen ever since the brutal killing of George Floyd, that the events have become manifest and very clear to everyone. It's right in front of our eyes, and we're seeing things happening that are horrific. We're seeing acts of injustice. We're seeing terrible acts of brutality. And these are things which are very difficult to see, and also very eye-opening. And so these are we started out a few months ago with the coronavirus, and that was something which was quite it still is a major test, and it's something which is a trial, and something which has been a cause for a lot of reflection on our part. And many challenges have come about because of it. But now this adds like even more complexity. And so we need these times. These are times for us to like be able to kind of bring together all these thoughts and to present ourselves to our Rabb and to tell him that, oh Allah, all these things that are going on, what does it mean for me? What is my responsibility? What is it that you're trying to tell me? How can I make sure that I'm on the right side? How can I make sure that I do the right thing? I don't want to be left behind. I don't want to be one of those who was like the people of Kufa, where when something needed to be done, they were just stuck in their own ways and they didn't do what they needed to do. So this is a special time for us, and inshallah, by means of these type of gatherings, we want to revive our heart, we want to get the help of Allah, and we want His guidance. So our program for tonight is, once again, we're going to be beginning with a presentation which has some Qur'an study in it, and then that's going to be followed by our dua recitation. And then after that, there was a few submissions that we got, and so we're going to be showing those. And then after that, there's going to be the interactive quiz. And after that, inshallah, we're going to have some time for just some chatting and open discussion on the Slido forum. So with that, let's begin with our Qur'an study presentation. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So the verses that we selected for today's presentation have to do with the story of the people of Ad. And there's a good reason why I chose this particular story, and I want you to think about what that is. And inshallah, by the end of it, I think it'll become clear why I chose this particular story. Why don't you listen now to the recitation of some of these verses and reflect on the translation. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
كذبت عاد المرسلين إذ قال لهم أخوهم هود ألا تتقون إني لكم رسول أمين فاتقوا الله وأطيعون وما أسألكم عليه من أجر إن أجري إلا على رب العالمين أتبنون بكل ريع آية تعبثون وتتخذون مصانع لعلكم تخلدون وإذا بطشتم جبارين فاتقوا الله وأطيعون واتقوا الذي أمدكم بما تعلمون أمدكم بأنعام وبنين وجنات وعيون إني أخاف عليكم عذاب يوم عظيم.
Sadaqallahu al-Aliyyul Azim. These verses are from Surah Ash-Shu'ara, and they tell a story of a people and the prophet that was sent to them. These people were the people of Ad, and the prophet that was sent to them was Hud. And the people of Ad, they lived in a place which in today's world is part of modern day Saudi Arabia, but it's sort of near Oman. And when we come across these type of stories, we have to remember that it's not history, the type of history where, it's like these events that took place in the past, and it's kind of like, okay, well, that's what happened, these are the people. This is a story of what's happening now, because the Qur'an is a book of guidance and it's a book of life for us right here and now. One time, I remember this was many years ago when I was invited to like give a speech. I was a student in the Hausa at that time, and afterwards there's somebody who gave me some feedback, and his feedback was that he said that, that history part, I didn't find that interesting, but the points that you made after the history, that was something that was interesting to me. Those comments stuck with me because yes, you can be somebody who like when you're in school, you can either like history or you don't like history. You like science or you don't like science. You like math, you don't like math. But when it comes to the Qur'an, when it comes to the history of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, when it comes to the history of the peoples of the past and all these different things that happened to them, it's not history, because that's not the way the Qur'an presents it. It's about trying to understand what's happening here and now. So with that, let's take a look at this story of Ad and Hud. Nabi Hud alayhi salam, the people reject him, and we know from last week as well that every time there was a prophet that was sent to people, there was a group of people, the mutrafun, they stood against the prophet, and they were the people who were very much keen on having the dunya and enjoying it to the maximum extent possible. So they stood up against him. Now, he told them, will you not be wary of Allah? I am a trusted apostle sent to you. They knew him. He was somebody who was well known. He was from a very good family. He was really well respected. He had built up a very good reputation, just like our Prophet had built up that reputation. So we know that he was a trusted apostle. He was a trusted prophet. So he says, be wary of Allah and obey me. I do not ask you any reward for it. My reward lies only with the Lord of all the worlds. All the prophets would say this, that it's not because I'm trying to do this for some, I'm not like a CEO who's trying to make a lot of money from you. I'm doing it for the sake of Allah, for your guidance. And then he brings up the specific issues that they are facing. He says, do you build futile a sign on every prominence? What that means is that in every prominent place, they used to build like a sign of their luxury and of their richness. The rich people and the people who are like the mutrafun, they wanted to show off their wealth and they wanted to show off their status. So every high place that they could find, they would build something there. And then he says that futile, meaning that there's no reason why you're doing what you're doing. There's no valid reason. Then he says, you set up structures as if you will be immortal. Like you think that you're going to live forever. That's the way that you're building your different homes. And when you seize someone for punishment, you seize him like tyrants. So be wary of Allah and obey me. Be wary of him who has provided you with whatever you know and aided you with sons and with cattle, gardens and springs. Indeed, I fear for you the punishment of a tremendous day. So with that, let's look at a little bit of the vocabulary and then some questions. So first of all, these vocabulary words are key. Jabbarin. Jabbarin are those who are, the translation is tyrants. But what is a jabbar? A jabbar is somebody who forces things according to their way. They have a certain something in mind, and they will go and they will force other people to go along with what they want. And so dictators, tyrant kings, oppressors, and they are all classified as jabbarin. Now, jabbar is not always a bad term. It is a bad term when it comes to people, because people aren't supposed to be like that. If they want to govern, they have to govern the hearts. They have to govern with compassion, with justice. Not that they're trying to impose their own personal will on other people. That's not the idea that Allah makes for us when it comes to government. Government of Allah is a government of those who would like to serve Allah by guiding others. But there is one case where Jabbar actually does have a positive meaning, and that's when it comes to Allah. You might remember from Dua al-Jawshan al-Kabir, one of the lines of that dua was, Ya Jabir al-Azm al-Kasir, oh, you are the one who mends the broken bone. In that meaning, Jabir is the one who is seeking to reform something and to make it go in a certain course, and that's a positive meaning. And Allah is known as Al-Jabbar because He compensates. Let's say somebody like misses out on something, they lose out on an opportunity, they lose some rizq, they committed a sin and now they've fallen behind and now they do tawbah, then Allah is Al-Jabbar, meaning that He's quick to compensate, He's quick to respond to them and to heal them, just like He heals the broken bone. That's one meaning. The other meaning of Jabbar is that He is the one who dominates, but He is really the one who is the Jabbar, meaning that he has the right to dominate, He has the right to have His will, because after all, He's the one who's in charge. The other vocabulary is the word Ri. Ri means a high place that can be seen from everywhere. The people of Ad, they really wanted to do this. They wanted to like show off, and so they would find those places that everyone could see, and that's where they would build. Their land had a lot of sand mountains, and what they would do is they would try to find like the highest sand dunes or the highest sand mountains, and that's where they would build, and they would make like a very, very tall pillar that would go high into the sky, and they would build on top of the pillar. In some hadith, we're told that some of their houses were taller, like the pillars were raised so high into the sky that they were taller than the mountains. So they would actually like pride themselves. They'd be like, look at these like tiny mountains, and we can build even higher than they can. So they're trying to get higher and higher to the sky and go, and that's the way of kind of showing off. And then they would build like a really like proper like fortress with all like, a castle, a palace they would build high in the sky. And you might have heard of the city of Iram. These were the people who built the city of Iram Dhat al-Imad allati lam yukhlaq mithluha fil bilad. Like there's never been a city like that ever created in history, nor there will ever be a city created like that in history. Now, the other word is ta'buthun, meaning when you do things that don't have a greater purpose, playing and joking. These people, they did what they did not because there was some greater purpose. They weren't like building these like homes in the sky because they wanted to like, let's say, save people from like, I don't know, a catastrophic like tidal wave, or there was a charitable purpose behind it. No, they just wanted to play around, right? Just enjoy themselves. So Allah says that the Prophet tells them that you guys are doing this, there's no purpose behind what you're doing. It's abath. And the final word is batsh. Batsh is when you are dealing with an enemy and then you want to capture them, and then you want to punish them or torture them. You don't just do it in a way where you're trying to let's say carry out a just punishment. What you're trying to do when you do batsh is that you go beyond that. You actually go and you torture them, and you hurt them, and you go to the extreme when it comes to hurting others. So that's what batsh is about. Okay, now some questions about these verses. What were the people of Ad thinking when building structures, imagining that they were immortal? Because that's what the Prophet tells them, that you guys do think you're immortal. So think about that, and then let's see what the answer is. Well, that's how much importance they gave to these structures, meaning that they would spend so much time building them, and they would make them so elaborate. It's as if it was something that was important for them, that they spent their whole life just working on this building. If you were to ask them, it seems like, if you were to make a comment on that, you'd say well, it seems like you're planning to live forever, because otherwise you would spend at least as much time working on building your hereafter and what's going to happen there. But no, all their time was about building these fortresses and these palaces. So that's the type of importance they gave to these structures. What were the root causes Allah describes that led to the people of Ad denying their prophet Hud? You know how he says that, okay, you're building these things, and then when you get mad at your enemies and you fight them, then you do so with batsh. Batsh is that you seize them with violence. Well, Mufassirin, they say that there's two main reasons. One of them is shahwa, and one of them is ghadab. Okay, shahwa means unchecked pursuit of desire. Ghadab means unchecked pursuit of anger and dominance. These people were really, really keen on being like the mutrafun, because they were the mutrafun, meaning that they wanted to enjoy their lusts and their passions to the extreme. So for them, it was about building these palaces. That's the thing that really got them excited. The other thing that they had though was this very strong sense of ghadab. of like, don't mess with me, and I am going to destroy anybody who stands in my way, and I'll do so without having any restraint. Justice will be trampled. I'll throw it away. I'll just do whatever I want. And that's what a Jabbar does. Jabbar is like, whatever I want, it's going to happen. So both of these are seen in the example of the people of Ad. And so this is something for us to reflect on, because now we're going to be moving towards like what's happening in current times. The final question is, what strategy does Hud take to get them to reform? He tells them, remember, there's something that you already know about. And this is something we can take as a practical point for us. There's something that you already know about. This was in the verses that we read. What is the thing you already know about? You know that, first of all, Allah is the one who amaddakum. Allah is the one who's blessed you. Amaddakum bima ta'alamun. You already know that everything that you have, it's not from yourselves, it's not from your idols, right? It's not from your parents and your forefathers. Like the people of Ad were actually given very strong bodies, and that's what allowed them to, kind of act tough and to hurt others. They were given sharp minds, and that's the way that they had this type of technology where they could build these incredibly tall pillars and build homes on top of the pillars and build a city like no city has been built before or after that. But they knew, and it's something which was, if they only reflected on, they would be able to realize that this was not from them, this is from Allah. So he goes about reminding them that these things that you have, your wealth, your families, your technology, all of this is from Allah. Now, there's some reflection that I would like to have when it comes to these verses. First of all, how can these verses help us understand some of the root causes behind the events of police brutality and militarized response that we have been witnessing? The story of the people of Ad is the story of people who had unchecked passion and unchecked rage. And these are things which are part of our animalistic nature. And when they went unchecked and they got to the extreme, then they started to act in this way. I'll tell you a story about the people of Ad. So what happened was that there's a beautiful hadith which tells us something. It's about Hud. Hud was the prophet that was sent to them. So the hadith says the following, that when Hud was 40 years old, Allah told him to go amongst the people and to preach to them and to call them to his tawheed and to call them towards worshipping Allah. So the hadith says the following, that if Allah tells them through the prophet, that if he tells Hud that if they answer you, then we're going to give them even more. We'll give them more strength and we'll give them more wealth, because that's what they wanted. Now what happened was that they were all gathered, and then Hud came to them. And he said, "O my people, worship Allah. You don't have any other God save Him. He's the only entity worthy of worship." They said, "O Hud, we used to think you were somebody who was like a thiqatun amin. You were somebody that we had a lot of hope in." What does this show us? It's a very important point. It shows us that the mutrafun, and they're also known as the mala. Inshallah, we'll talk about the mala maybe in another week. The mutrafun, they have certain people who they consider to be like their own group, and they expect that they're going to do the same things that they do. And sometimes it's the people who are of the same race, but sometimes it's not. It's just others who are like, part of their crowd. Kind of think back to like Fir'aun and Qarun. Qarun was from Bani Israel. He was a relative of Nabi Musa, but he was in the Fir'aun's gang, and he was part of Fir'aun's crowd. So they thought that Hud would be like them, and they had a lot of hope that he would be like that. But Hud was different. So then Hud tells them, "Ya qawmi i'badullah ma lakum min ilahin ghayru," and then he says, "I'm a messenger of Allah. I have been sent to you to call you to worship Him and to leave aside the idols." When they heard this from him, what did they do to him? This hadith says they did batsh of him. So there were people who were jabbarin. There were people who did batsh. So what they did, they seized him with violence and they started to beat him. and they choked him to the point that they thought that he had died. So they actually attacked the Prophet of God himself. And they thought he had died. And they left him on the ground alone, and there he was for a day and a night. Nobody came to him. He was left to be dead. But he hadn't died. And when he comes to after being beaten, then he calls upon Allah. He says, Rabbi, oh my Lord, I did what you asked me to do, and you saw what they did to me, what my own people did to me. So Jibreel alayhi salam comes to him, and he says, O Hud, Allah commands you not to stop or not to become weak in calling them to Him. Don't give up right now. Keep on doing what you have to do. And He has promised you that He will cause terror to go into their hearts, and they will not be able to ever beat you like they beat you now. But when He goes back to them and He tells them that you are people who are jabbar in the earth, and you have done a lot of fasad, you are corrupting, what do they tell him? They say, Hud, if you continue, we're going to beat you in a way that you'll forget how you were beat the first time. It's going to be so bad that it's like as if the first time never even happened. But when they try to do that, then they find that their hearts are filled with fear. And so they're stuck. They can't actually attack Hud. And from that point onwards, Hud becomes the one who's telling them what to do. And eventually, the people of Ad become destroyed with a terrible storm that wipes out these Jabbari. So this is the story of the past, and I'm trying to use this story to show that these patterns and these different trends, they've happened before in history. For those who want to take note of them, they'll realize that this type of behavior is something that doesn't go unanswered. Allah listens to the cry of the distressed. Eventually, وَسَيَعْلَمُ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا أَيَّ مُنْقَلِبٍ يَنْقَلِبُونَ. Those who oppress, they will meet their ends, and they will be faced with the consequences of what they've done. So this is a story for us. Now, if you look at this picture on the screen, you saw in this last week this type of irony, where on one hand, America was so proud of its technology. What does this technology do? Is it in order for them to help others? Do they have a purpose behind what they're doing? Or are they just modern versions of the people of Ad, where they're trying to get higher and higher and higher and show off to the rest of the world and say, look at us, this is what we can do and you can't do? How many millions and even billions of dollars are put into this program when you have people who are jobless, and millions of people who are jobless right now? Do they have any care for their own people? And you have that going on, and you have the leaders going and attending that event while barely even commenting on the fact that their streets are on fire and people are being oppressed, and the situation is just horrific. I'm sure that you all have seen the videos of what's happened. It wasn't just one event. The mask, if there was ever a mask, it's now fallen, and the reality of this corrupt and twisted system is now visible for everyone to see. You have tanks rolling through, or you have military jeeps and these squads running through the streets, suburban streets. You have the police who are supposed to protect people ripping off the face mask of the people who are protesting peacefully and spraying pepper spray in front of them. You have them firing rubber bullets at journalists. You have them running SUVs into protesters. What kind of batsh is this? Right? It's something which is horrific, and these are the things that we're seeing. And with that, the other point I think I want to bring up here is that how can the story of Ad help us to understand what will happen going forward? Well, the promise of Allah is there, and His sunnah never changes. And we can be sure that the people who are speaking for truth and justice, if their intentions are pure, Allah Ta'ala will eventually grant them victory. Already we've seen that these protests are changing some things. We hope that inshallah that it's not just concessions that are being given that don't address the real core of the issue, which is an unjust and a corrupt system. Okay, so with that, inshallah, we'll move on to the next part of our program, which is the dua communal. We are going to be reciting, roughly speaking, the second third of dua. Last week we got a chance to recite the first third. Inshallah, we're going to recite the second third, and we're going to do some masaib after that. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammad wa alihi at-tahirin. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم فاقبل عذري وارحم شدة ضري وفكني من شد وثاقي. يا رب ارحم ضعف بدني. يا رب ارحم ضعف بدني ورقة جلدي ودقة عظمي. يا من بدا خلقي وذكري وتربيتي وبري وتغذيتي، هبني لابتداء كرمك وسالف برك بي. يا إلهي وسيدي وربي، أتراك معذبي بنارك بعد توحيدك، وبعد من طوى عليه قلبي من معرفتك، ولهج به لساني من ذكرك، واعتقده ضميري من حبك. وبعد صدق اعترافي ودعائي خاضعا لربوبيتك، هيهات أنت أكرم من أن تضيع من ربيته، أو تبعد من أدنيته، أو تشرد من آويته، أو تسلم إلى البلاء من كفيته ورحمته. وليت شعري يا سيدي وإلهي ومولاي، أتسلط النار على وجوه خرت لعظمتك ساجدا، وعلى ألسن نطقت بتوحيدك صادقة، وبشكرك مادحة، وعلى قلوب اعترفت بإلهيتك محققة، وعلى ضمائر حوت من العلم بك حتى صارت خاشعة،
وعلى جوارح سعت إلى أوطان تعبدك طائعة، وأشارت باستغفارك مذعنا. ما هكذا الظن بك، ولا أخبرنا بفضلك عنك يا كريم يا رب. Oh Allah, it's Thursday night. It's the night where I come to you seeking your forgiveness, pleading with you for your mercy. O Allah, you are far too kind and generous to turn away those who have known you and who have tried to worship you. You are too generous and kind to punish those bodies which have spent lifetimes obeying you, prostrating to you, praying to you. How can it be, O Allah, after showing me so much favor and blessings in this world, that in the hereafter you will deprive me of your mercy? You are the one who is Kareem. You have asked us to call upon you with your name, Kareem. You are noble and generous. You are my Lord, Allah. Ya Kareem, Ya Rabb. وأنت تعلم ضعفي عن قليل من بلاء الدنيا وعقوباتها، وما يجري فيها من المكاره على أهلها، على أن ذلك بلاء ومكروه، قليل مكثوه، يسير بقاؤه، قصير مدته. فكيف احتمالي لبلاء الآخرة وجليل وقوع المكاره فيها، وهو بلاء تطول مدته ويدوم مقامه، ولا يخفف عن أهله، لأنه لا يكون إلا عن غضبك وانتقامك وسخطك، وهذا ما لا تقوم له السماوات والأرض. يا سيدي، فكيف لي وأنا عبدك الضعيف الذليل الحقير المسكين المستكين؟ يا إلهي وربي وسيدي ومولاي، لأي الأمور إليك أشكو، ولما منها أضج وأبكي؟ لأليم العذاب وشدته، أم لطول البلاء ومدته؟ فلئن صيرتني للعقوبات مع أعدائك، وجمعت بيني وبين أهل بلائك، وفرقت بيني وبين أحبائك وأوليائك، فهبني يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي وربي. صبرت على عذابك، فكيف أصبر على فراقك؟ وهبني صبرت على حر نارك، فكيف أصبر عن النظر إلى كرامتك؟ أم كيف أسكن في النار ورجائي عفوك. These are the words of Amir al-Mu'mineen. What is he concerned about? He's concerned about a moment that would arrive where he's separated from Allah, where Allah is not the central point of his life. If I look in myself, how much of my day and night is spent empty of the remembrance of Allah? How often do I get busy and occupied with everything other than that which is most important? How often do I fall into a state of forgetfulness and neglect, not realizing my position as Allah's slave? This is the night for me to ask Allah for a greater level of remembrance. Let not our nights and days, not even a moment pass, where we are neglectful of Allah. We ask Allah to make our hearts filled with His remembrance. They may be hard, they may be even harder than stones, but Allah is capable of everything. He is muqallibul qulub. He is the one who transforms and changes the hearts. فبعزتك يا سيدي ومولاي أقسم صادقا لئن تركتني ناطقا لأضجن إليك بين أهلها ضجيج الآمنين ولأصرخن إليك صراخ المستصرخين ولأبكين عليك بكاء الفاقدين ولأنادينك أين كنت يا ولي المؤمنين يا غاية آمال العارفين يا غياث المستغيثين يا حبيب قلوب الصادقين ويا إله العالمين أفتراك سبحانك يا إلهي وبحمدك تسمع فيها صوت عبد مسلم سجن فيها بمخالفته وذاق طعم عذابها بمعصيته وحبس بين أطباقها بجرمه وجريرته وهو يضج إليك ضجيج مؤمل لرحمتك ويناديك بلسان أهل توحيدك ويتوسل إليك بربوبيتك يا مولاي فكيف يبقى في العذاب وهو يرجو ما سلف من حلمك أم كيف تؤلمه النار وهو يأمل فضلك ورحمتك أم كيف يحرقه لهيبها وأنت تسمع صوته وترى مكانه أم كيف يشتمل عليه زفيرها وأنت تعلم ضعفه أم كيف يتقلقل بين أطباقها وأنت تعلم صدقه أم كيف تزجره زبانيتها وهو يناديك يا رباه أم كيف يرجو فضلك في عتقه منها فتتركه فيها هيهات ما ذلك الظن بك ولا المعروف من فضلك ولا مشبه لما عاملت به الموحدين من برك وإحسانك فباليقين أقطع لولا ما حكمت به من تعذيب جاحديك وقضيت به من إخلاد معانديك لجعلت النار كلها بردا وسلاما وما كان لأحد فيها مقرا ولا مقاما لكنك تقدست أسماؤك أقسمت أن تملأها من الكافرين من الجنة والناس أجمعين وأن تخلد فيها المعاندين وأن تجل ثناؤك قلت مبتدئا وتطولت بالإنعام متكرما أفمن كان مؤمنا كمن كان فاسقا لا يستوون إلهي وسيدي وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطاهرين.
It's Thursday night, the night of ziyarah of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. It's also a night for us to strengthen our connection with the Imam of our time and to fill our hearts with hope that tomorrow will be the day of his return, like every Friday we are asked to do. Let us seek the permission of the Imam of our time to do a ziyarah niyabatan on his behalf of his great-grandfather Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. And let's remember some of the dhulm that was done to the Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam, and make that be the means by which we do tawassul to Allah by means of Imam Hussein alayhi salam.
Sallallahu alayka ya Aba Abdullah وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. لا يوم كيومك يا أبا عبد الله. There was no day of tragedy and injustice like the tragedy and injustice that was done to the Ahlul Bayt and their noble companions on the day of Ashura. What type of hard hearts did these people have? These so-called people who would stand against the Imam of the time, the grandson of the Prophet. They would seek to kill him, and they did so gladly, showing no mercy till the point where the grandson of the Prophet was slain on the banks of the river while his mouth was thirsty. They did what they did to the bodies, but their evil and cruelty did not stop there. How did they treat the prisoners after that? Sayyid ibn Tawus in his Luhuf says that when the women and children were being taken to Sham, they became aware that the city gates were approaching. Kulthum addresses Shimr la'natullahi alayhi. She says to him, "O Shimr, I have a request to make of you." What a situation it must be that the ladies of the Ahlul Bayt have to turn to the enemy of God to make a request of him. Shimr asks her, "What is your request?" She tells him, "O Shimr, you see how our situation is. You see how we have been taken prisoner. You see how they have taken away our head coverings. When we come near the city, oh please, for the sake of God, do not take us through the main entrance. Take us from one of the side entrances, where the people will not look upon us. This whole journey we have been seen by others, and this is something which is intolerable for us." She tells him, "O Shimr, order for the heads atop the spears, for them to be at the front so they distract people's eyes and we can be unnoticed by the people." But Shimr la'natullahi alayhi instead orders his men. He tells them, "Take the heads of the martyrs, place them right in the middle of the women and children, so when the people look at the heads, they see the women as well." What kind of heartless person had he become? La'natullahi alayhi. When they get to the doors of Sham, according to a report, they say that the head of Imam Hussein was hung up so that everyone could see. But the soldiers were given the order that if any one of the women were to cry out, she must be whipped and slapped. At one point, Kulthum happens to see the head of her brother Imam Hussein. She cannot stop herself. She cries out, "Ya Jadda, Ya Rasulallah, oh my grandfather, Hada al-Hussein, this is Hussein. See what they are doing to his blessed head." But when she cries out with that, one of the soldiers takes his hand, he raises it, he slaps her on her face. Her face is all struck with the blow of the hand. La'natullahi alayhi. This is the treatment that the women and the children were given by the enemies of Allah. May Allah hasten the reappearance of the Imam of our time, who will take revenge for the injustice that was done to the Ahlul Bayt. اللهم إنا نسألك وندعوك باسمك العظيم العظم الأعز الأجل الأكرم يا الله 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 يا رحمن يا رحيم يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. We ask you, Ya Allah, to accept this dua from us. We ask you to forgive us for our sins and to purify our hearts and to grant us all the excellent qualities and virtues and help us to become your obedient servants and to dedicate our lives to you and to none other. We ask you to make your remembrance be alive in our hearts. We ask you to make us closer to our guides and our masters, our leaders, the Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam. We ask you, Ya Allah, to cure all those who are ill and to grant the mu'mineen their hajat. We ask you to help all those who are facing problems. We ask you to help the oppressed, whether they be in Yemen or Palestine or in Syria or Iraq or Kashmir or anywhere else in the world. We ask you, Ya Allah, to hasten the reappearance of the Imam of our time and to grant us the honor of dedicating our lives towards serving him. We ask you, Ya Allah, to protect and preserve all those who are serving your cause and the cause of truth and Islam and justice, especially the Maraji, especially the Islamic leadership. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammad wa alihi al-tahirin. We had a few submissions last week. I had invited the participants in the live stream to see if they wanted to contribute any of their thoughts about current events that are happening in the form of like artwork or poetry, and we had said that we would show it as part of this live stream. Alhamdulillah, I wasn't sure if anybody would respond, but we did receive 3 very excellent submissions, and inshallah we will show you those shortly. If you have any others that you'd like to share, then please feel free to do so. Inshallah we can try to show them at the next week's live stream if Allah gives us the tawfiq to do so. You can either go along the same themes of reflecting on some of the current events, or what you could do even is take either of the verses that we covered last week or this week, and you can do something with them. You can either make a beautiful calligraphy with them, or you can take one of the themes and then show it. You can select some things about current events, some pictures that really maybe were meaningful for you, and you can put them into a collage. There's all sorts of things. I'm not the artistic person to be able to tell you. I'm sure that I know the fact that you guys are pretty much all more artistic than I am. So inshallah, looking forward to seeing those. So let's look at what we got. So the first one I want to share with you, inshallah, here is from, let's see here, Razia, and it's Razia Hashim. Razia Hashim from Canada. And if we take a look at her submission, we see a very powerful verse. وَنُرِيدُ أَن نَمُنَّ عَلَى الَّذِينَ اسْتُضْعِفُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَنَجْعَلَهُمْ أَئِمَّةً وَنَجْعَلَهُمُ الْوَارِثِينَ. Can you guys guess what those different pictures represent? If you can offer your thoughts in the YouTube chat window, let's see if you can kind of comment on what the pictures represent. Anybody? Definitely oppression, but any ideas on like what those different pictures represent?
Okay. So they do represent, yes, one of them is Palestine, definitely. And then another one is from where? Hardship in different places. Okay. The bottom right one appears to be tear gas, and I'm not sure exactly where it's from, but perhaps it is from America. And so a comparison between Palestine and USA. Okay, yes. Okay, the next one we want to show is from, thank you all for your contribution. Next one we want to show is from Fatima, Zainab Fatima, from Zainab Fatima of Caledon, and she is 7 years old, and she has shared with us this submission. If you take a look at this, dear Imam, there's so much oppression in this world. I hope you come to this world to stop this. I feel so sad. There are kids who are dying and bad people who are mainly killing Yemen and Palestine. Thank you so much for your beautiful comments, Zainab Fatima Hasnain. May Allah accept your dua. Can you guys tell me which flags are these? It took me a bit of time to figure out some of them. I didn't know all of them myself, but I think I do know them all. So let's see. Let's start out with from the left, lower left, and then work your way to the right and then up. So what's the bottom left one? And then the one next to that, and then the bottom right, and then up and up. So yes, we have the flag from Yemen, and we have the flag of Palestine, and we have the flag of Iraq, yes, and the flag of Palestine. Bahrain is there. What is the flag in the lower right? Can somebody tell me? No, I haven't seen it yet. Let's see who can get it. The flag in the lower right. Still haven't seen it yet. Kashmir, exactly. It's the flag of Kashmir. Okay, somebody's saying that there is no Iraq flag. Is that true? Oh, okay, yes, the 2 stars is Syria. That's right. I mixed it up with the Iraq flag. You're right. The 2 stars is Syria. Okay. Okay, excellent. So it was Kashmir. Okay, thank you. And then the third submission that we got is from Sister Razia, and she has written a poem. So now you kneel. Where were you when I made so many appeals to my humanity? I said I couldn't breathe, but now you kneel when you know the world is watching, when you know the world is burning. So now you're kneeling because you want your photo op to tell the world you're a good cop. Just stop. And she, Sister Razia here, is drawing attention to what could be like false and hypocritical acts that are being done now when the pressure is put on, as opposed to those who stood up for what was right even when it was unpopular. So thank you so much, Sister Razia, for your deep and profound words. Okay. Now it's time to move on to our interactive quiz. If I could ask you guys to all sign up at slido.com. The hashtag is #Ilham, ELHAAM. And I'm looking forward to the whole family participating, and you can use your name so I know who you are, and other people know who you are as well too. And inshallah we can make it a competition amongst family members and amongst each other, but the whole point is to like learn. So why do we have the first question up there? We don't want to be showing the questions yet. Is that a question? Those are question answer. Okay. So let's go to the quiz part. The quiz. I haven't activated the, okay, now I activated the quiz. So you can go ahead and sign up for the quiz, please. Okay. The first question has to do with a verse that we're going to be playing for you. So make sure that you listen very carefully. Okay, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر سبحان الله عما يشركون.
Okay, this is a very often recited verse from Surah Al-Hashr, and I'm sure many of you have heard it before, but we're going to listen to it one more time just in case. Make sure you listen very carefully. Okay, everyone, go ahead. Bismillah.
هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر سبحان الله عما يشركون.
Okay, so with that, we're going to launch the quiz. The quiz this time consists of 3 sections. The first section has to do with Qur'an related questions based on the verse you just heard, and then the last 2 live streams, the presentations. The second part has to do with a review of Islamic ahkam, and the third one has to do with current events. So that's our 3 areas, and then after each one we're going to show the scoreboard or the leaderboard, see how we're doing. So let's go ahead. First question. In the verse you heard, how many one-word names of Allah are mentioned? Okay, so the vast majority of you said 9. So let's count it together. Huwa Allah alladhi la ilaha illa huwa al-malikul quddus salamul mu'minul muhayminul azizul jabbarul mutakabbir subhanallahi amma yushrikun. So I have 9 fingers up, right? That's what most of you thought. But guess what? That's not right. You know why? Because there's one other name there. What is that? Huwa Allah. Huwa. Huwa is one of the names of Allah as well. Hu. Qul huwa Allahu la ilaha illahu. That's one of the names of Allah. So the answer is 10. Okay, so good job. 24% of you. All right, next question. Jabbar means one who does things forcefully and unrightfully. It is a negative description. Is that true or is that false? If you were with me in the previous part of the presentation, this should be like a cinch. Okay, the answer is actually false, because we said that Jabbar is negative when it comes to human beings, but when it comes to Allah, it's one of the names of Allah, and Allah has all the perfect names, so it is one of the perfect names of Allah. Okay, next question. The mutrafun, which one of the following, okay, which one of these is true? So you guys remember last time we said the mutrafun are the people who they have a lot from Allah, and they like to enjoy what they have to the extremes. Like they're very much keen on like living a life of like luxury and pleasure. That's the mutrafun. And the answer is all of the above. Okay, that they do all these type of things. They will kill people unjustly. They like to enjoy what they have in extreme. Everything they do is say, and that's what we learned last week. And we also talked about it this week as well. So let's look at our leaderboard so far. After 3 questions, we have one person. We have Hashir at 3 out of 3, and then we have a lot of you at 2 out of 3. Let's see how this continues going forward. Good job, Hashir. May Allah increase your knowledge. Okay, next question. In preparation for burial, the body of the deceased needs to be given ghusl with water mixed with the following. So which one of these is right? The order matters, by the way. Oh, it looks like this was a tough one. So you guys know that according to Shia fiqh, Shia rules, the body has to be given 3 washes. All of them are with water, but the water for the first 2 has to be mixed in with a type of like substance. And the correct answer here is the first one. That first is mixed with sidr. Not so much that it turns into something other than water, but it has to be enough so that, you know, it has like the kind of the essence of sidr, which is lot, and then camphor, kafur, and then the final one is like a plain wash. Okay, and if God forbid a body is buried without this being done, let's say it was just given 3 washes with normal water, then it would mean that the ghusl was done in an invalid way, and it could cause a lot of issues, you know. So it's something which came up recently, and I thought I would bring it up in the live stream. So after our first 2 sections and first 4 questions, let's look at our leaderboard right now. We still have, okay, now we have 3 people at the top, at 3 out of 4. We have the Hashir and the Ali Bai family and Sayyid Muhammad Shabir. Good job, all of you. And then we have many of you in second place with 2 out of 4 points. Let's see now in the last 3 or 4 questions about current events. Okay, 3 questions. The first city in North America to ban police training by Israeli police. Which one of the following was it? This is for those of you who are kind of keeping aware of like the events that are happening in the world, which of course is our responsibility. I hope you guys aren't just Googling, right? Okay, so the answer is Durham, North Carolina. Okay, and that actually happened in 2019. Hopefully now there'll be other cities that do the same thing, you know. Okay, now, after 2 police SUVs ran into protesters in this city, the mayor of this city said the police acted appropriately, of all things. It's like, okay, and the answer is, like most of you selected, it's New York. Okay, and let's see, our last question for this evening's live stream. In this city, the police department union contributed over $1 million towards the campaign of the district attorney who is in charge of prosecuting the police. Meaning the police were the ones who basically ensured that this person will get elected, and they're supposed to be the ones who oversee the police. You know, you got like talking about corrupt systems. Okay, and just while we're waiting for the answer to come up on the screen, just to point out something, that after she got elected, everyone had hopes that she would like clean up the police department and all that. After she got elected, less than 1% of complaints against the police did she actually take up, meaning that she became like a yes man, a yes woman, or a yes person for the police department. So again, it shows you how corrupt the system can be. And the correct answer is Los Angeles. So after 7 questions, let's look at our leaderboard for tonight. We have AMZ at 5 out of 7. Looks like she came from nowhere and she got to the top. Good job, AIM. And then we have Sayyid Muhammad Shabir and Ibrahim Fontaine, or his family. And we have Ali Bai family and Hamza and Ali Hamdani at 4 out of 7. And then, mashallah, excellent. Thank you so much to everyone for participating. Great job. And alhamdulillah, I hope that you guys enjoyed that one. The final portion of our before we end up here, I just wanted to ask you guys to go to the slide, or go to the ideas section of the of your Slido screen, and I wanted to give you guys a chance to. Today, I don't really have any particular question. It's more of like an invitation for you to share, kind of like what you're feeling right now about what's happening in the world. You know, it can be like about, let's say, COVID. It can be about like, let's say, I don't know, some pain of what's happening at home, the pain that's happening abroad, just something that you would like to share of like, this is what's on your mind. So what's on your mind right now? Okay, what's on your mind? And then let's look at what everyone says. And what you can do is you can upvote people's comments. So let's say you like the comment that somebody makes, and you can vote on it, and then it will go to the top. Okay, so let's see. Do I have anybody commenting? So what's on your mind right now? Meaning that what's weighing you down? Okay, we have somebody saying, I miss the masjid. Definitely a time very different than any other times. This proves the need for Imam Mahdi really soon. Oppression and injustice. Anybody else have any? Feeling lots of pain and longing for the Imam. Let me just check the... Okay, anybody else? The privileged need to self-reflect, be it color, money, country, race. We all need to self-reflect. Ahsant, Jazakallah, brother. Dibaj. And my school exam. Okay, inshallah, we pray for your success. We have Fatima's comment about Imam Mahdi at the top of the list right now. Thank you, Fatima. And the racism making me reflect on the bigotry and biases in our own communities. A bit stressed due to the coronavirus, and also a bit upset because of how George Floyd has left this world. Thank you. Injustice from Batul. And I'm wondering, where is the Imam right now and what is he doing? What a beautiful reflection. Thank you so much for that. Having the feeling that the arrogant power are about to perish. May Allah Ta'ala give us justice. The verse of the Qur'an which states that Allah has promised to fill the earth with justice, which is the verse that Razia Hashim had done on her calligraphy, Quran calligraphy, that had that there too. That was one of the verses that reflects that. Okay, and I miss Karbala. We wanted to go there this year. What a beautiful reflection. I think we can we all upvote that one? Like, I can just put, there's a way to like it, right? If you, what do you do? How do you do then? Huh? There's a like button? Yeah, click the like button if you like that one. Outrage, no, we heard that one. Oh, outrage every time I hear the story of injustice for George Floyd. I wish the ending would change every time I hear the story. Did you guys see like the last words that he said? Like, it was so like heart-wrenching, you know, like reflecting on my own racism maybe that I'm not aware of. Okay, events in America, yes. Will people take advantage of the unmasking of unjust systems and turn things around, or will it just get even worse until the Imam comes? Thank you, Masaib, for that comment. Ali Hamadani, the Muslims had to prepare for the coming of the Imam. Wow, these are great comments. I would like to give a like to all of you, mashallah, excellent. Okay, and anybody else before we end up? Being in Medina and Makkah during vacation, thank you, Hashir. And how the Imam might be feeling of how much injustice has happened in the world. Anti-racism and desire for justice. I can't breathe. The oppression is being filled from the world to see. May Allah hasten the appearance of our Imam. The need for justice. What I like about many of your comments is that you're looking at the deeper issue here. You're not just going at the shallow level and saying, yeah, well, this means that, like, for example, that, you know, I don't know, it's very important to look deeper, okay, and to ask, like, what is the root cause of this? Okay, it's not just like, let's say, the Republicans are in power and that's why this is happening. No, there's a systematic problem here. Okay, thank you so much. You can continue to, add your comments here, and people are going to be checking out, inshallah. I wanted to give Ilham Magazine just a bit of airtime. They wanted to just kind of offer some comments before we end up here. So please, if we can ask them to type out what they would like to in the chat window. Okay. So inshallah they're typing the comments out in the chat window, and inshallah you guys can read that. But in the meantime, I will be saying goodbye for tonight. Thank you so much for your participation. May Allah Ta'ala accept all your du'as. There is somebody who we know who's a member of the community who's very ill right now in the ICU, and is because of COVID. And I'm sure there's many others who we're not aware of. So please make sure to keep them in your du'as. Inshallah, with your du'as, we have hope in Allah's mercy and His shifa. So thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.